You see, one of my greatest mentors taught me the process of you should hire slow and fire fast. I get so many people come to me and ask me about how to hire the perfect team member and the hiring process. And through this video, I'm going to give you a few tips of some of the fundamental principles you have to understand when hiring. Tip number one is it's not about the CV. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about the context that you set before someone comes to work for you. You see, here's the thing, is the hiring process is actually irrelevant if you don't have the first fundamental, which is a set of core values that both parties can actually talk about that clearly states the rules of the game in your business prior to them coming to work for you. And why I love talking about this is that it's not my opinion, it is stated as fact in a great book called Good to Great, which talks about the fundamental principles that all great businesses had in common. And one of them was something called a set of core values, which is a set of statements that clearly defines the things that this business does stand for and doesn't stand for. And I'm not going to go into depth about how to set up core values right now, but I'm going to tell you this. If you're doing an interview process without a set of core values, you are leaving a lot on the table because both parties need to understand where they are very, very quickly. You as an employer needs to quickly, if you will, express those key principles in your business as quickly as possible, and that potential employee needs to be shown these key principles as quickly as possible so that both parties know the rules of the game or have common ground before they start a relationship. What most people do wrong is they only discuss these things after they've hired the person, according to their CV, etc., etc. But that's all irrelevant because it's the environment that's created by quickly stating the do's and the don'ts in the business and what you unapologetically do stand for and don't stand for. And if I had to give you a brief outlook on what you are hoping for when you have your core values, and there's so much context, there's so many books that can help you with that, is you've got to have a set of core values. We do this with all my inner circle members, first and foremost, so that both parties know where they stand as quickly as possible. So the first thing I say in any interview process is just show them your core values. Get them to read it out loud, and at the end you're going to say the magic phrase, which is any thoughts, fears, and concerns. And ask them if they have any thoughts, fears, and concerns. And what happens next is really the magic. You're able to talk about differences of opinions. You're able to talk about any things that they're scared about. You're going to be able to talk about any things they love. And you're able to find out a little bit more about what they stand for based on whether that is in alignment with your core values in the business. Next, number two, in any business, the interview process, I want you to understand that the principle of delaying the process will stand you in good stead. You see, one of my greatest mentors taught me the process of you should hire slow and fire fast. And even in my business, we still don't embrace this enough, is that the hiring process where slowed down can be very, very powerful. Meaning that at the very minimum, you should have an interview with someone, whether that's a telephonic interview, a live interview, a group interview, etc. And whatever that first meeting is, you should always let them go and then call them back for a second interview. Now, the second interview, my advice for you is on the second interview, the gap between the first interview, if you will, and the second interview is there's no hard and fast rules of this. But again, my advice for this is that don't always feel like that the process has to be very, very short or very compact. Because sometimes what you need to do is, I want doubt to build. I want them to have, if they, according to the core values, they don't want to go work there, then I want to give time for that. I don't want to quickly sell them into coming to work for you because inevitably, if the doubt is there, it's going to come up anyway. So I actually want to slow the process down. And then on the second interview, my golden rule is never offer the position at the second interview in the instance either. You want to let them go again. Now, here's a little tip. I will often delay that process a little bit longer even than I say I'm going to in the interview. Sometimes I might say I'm going to call you in 24 hours and I'll call them just after 24 hours. Why do I do that? Again, I want to give them time to run away. That's the weirdest thing you'll ever hear anyone say, right? But here's the thing, is this, you're just about to go into a relationship with the person. Make no mistake, it's a relationship. You have to basically live with these people. Some people spend more time at work than they do with their loved ones. So you don't want to, if you want to give people the opportunity to run away if that is not the right environment for them. If they have any doubts, you don't want to close them. You want to do the opposite of that. You want to quickly, or slowly rather, let them come up with those decisions. And if they're going to run away, you want them to run away prior to that. And that's why it's so important that you're unapologetic to yourself in the beginning. Most people, when it comes to the interview process, try sugarcoat the whole process, how great they are. I want you to do the opposite. I want you to tell them all the dirty stuff, air your dirty laundry as quickly as possible. Because the inevitability of it is every business has a lot of challenges. Every business is going to challenges. Every level has a new devil. So by not airing that, listen, they're going to find out anyway. So your best bet is to tell them all the hidden agendas and challenges you have in the business right from the outset. Because if you do that, then you're starting on a better ground. And they do choose to go on to do business with you or come and work with you, then you've started with the correct context. But what most people do wrong is they try to sell people into this sugar-coated idea of coming to work here is going to be better than anything they've ever experienced in their life. Well, the truth of the matter is every business has challenges. Your best bet is get that out onto the table as quickly as possible so that you're starting with a better context. And you are, most importantly, setting expectations. You are controlling expectations by doing that. That they're going to have to come in, and most of the time you want to be hiring someone to help you, so you don't have to have all the answers. You know, a lot of people are, you know, especially with new hires, is they're trying to have this whole thing solved before they hire him. Well, the point is you're hiring them for the person to come in and help you with that process. So you don't have to have everything figured out before you do that. And the last aspects of this whole hiring process is I wish people were way more unapologetic about the things they like and don't like. So when you're hiring someone, well, again, comes down to the fundamental process of trying to sell someone into something that potentially isn't true. You need to be unapologetic to yourself. You need to tell them about all your weirdness, all your quirkiness, because the truth of the matter is we're all weird in our own way. So get this out early in the relationship. Tell them, if for instance in my environment is I'm a weirdo when it comes to time. That means I have certain aspects in my business that I'm irrational about, but you have the same in your business. And it's better that they know that, and we all have that. We're all weird in our own way. It's better that the potential hire knows your irrational, weird ways prior to coming to work for you. It may just be that you hate having dead flowers at the front desk, and you're irrational about it, and it drives you insane. But let them know that prior to coming to work to you, so that you have a better context, and then the relationship going forward has a lot better chance of being healthier from the beginning. That doesn't mean you're not going to have disagreements. That doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges. That doesn't mean you're not going to get it wrong. I get it wrong lots. I get it wrong a lot. But what I do know is the more unapologetic I am in the beginning, the more I tell people just the honest truth about my weirdness, my quirkiness, and the more I drive my core values across to people before they come and work for me. Every time I skimp on that, or every time I minimize that process, or every time I'm not, if you will, unapologetic about my quirkiness and my weirdness, it normally the relation doesn't start as well as I want it to. So my tips for you today are, make sure you got core values. Make sure you slow down the process. And number 3, just get all your dirty laundry, or air all your dirty laundry right in the beginning of a relationship. Let them know all the challenges you have in business. Let them know all the issues you have. Let them know all your quirkiness so that you guys can start on the right footing. See you soon. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you know exactly when I'm coming on to give you a great tip.